In the last 6 weeks, 2 legal AI companies raised over $750 million between them. Harvey is now valued at $11 billion, Legora at $5.6. Anthropic launched a legal plugin for Claude, and 3 of the biggest legal publishers in the world lost double-digit percentages of their market cap in a single afternoon. So how do you actually pick the right tool from this without burning 6 months and €250,000? If you're a general counsel or a head of legal operations at a European company right now, you have a problem. Not because there's nothing to buy, because there's too much to buy, and almost none of it was built for you. Let me walk you through it. Quick disclosure up front, because you should know who's talking. I'm a lawyer by training. I co-founded Legartis in 2017, where I'm now CEO. We build contract review AI for legal teams, mostly in the German-speaking market. I'm one of the vendors in this space. I'll cover Legartis when we get to it, and I'll tell you exactly where we fit and where we don't. My scope: tools that fit how in-house legal teams actually work. Review, research, drafting. I'm not covering the big US contract lifecycle platforms like Icertis or Ironclad. Different category, different buying motion, and definitely a different video. What's changed in the last couple of months? Legal AI is no longer a niche category. The market is consolidating around well-capitalized platforms, while foundation model companies, Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, are pushing directly into legal workflows. It's the same dynamic that played out in customer support 2 years ago. The platform eats the layer built on top of it. That's what wiped out value at Thomson Reuters, LexisNexis, and Wolters Kluwer when Claude's legal plugin was launched. 3 things this means for you. First, the vendor landscape in 24 months will look totally different from today. Optionality actually matters. Second, data residency, FADP and GDPR compliance are now primary procurement criteria, not nice to have. Third, the gap between demo magic and actually working in a non-English M&A diligence is still enormous, and most vendors won't tell you that. Let's have a look at the international players. With a total of $7.5 billion in revenue, Thomson Reuters AI layer is co-counsel, built on the $650 million case acquisition. Double-digit co-counsel growth, 11% revenue growth from law firms. The product is generally improving. Honest take though for European teams, Westlaw, Thomson Reuters' core legal research database, is a US case law platform with a US pricing model, relevant for US litigation exposure or cross-border M&A under New York or Delaware law. Outside of that, you're basically paying breadth you'll never use. Now looking at LexisNexis as part of RELX, Lexis Plus with its Protégé AI assistant. The most interesting development for European buyers: on April 28, RELX announced an offer to acquire Doctrine, a French legal AI provider used by 27,000 professionals across France, Italy, Germany, and Spain. If that closes, LexisNexis suddenly has a more credible continental footprint. Why does it matter, and what does it mean for DACH GCs? It is still primarily relevant for international work, but if you're evaluating a multi-year contract, ask them specifically what their German content roadmap looks like post-Doctrine. The specifics, not we're working on it. At an $11 billion valuation, 100,000 plus lawyers across 1,300 organizations, Harvey is the new kid on the American block. The strategy has shifted from law firm Copilot to legal infrastructure and agent platform. Microsoft 365 integration is launching in Q2. LexisNexis Alliance for citation-backed research will be there. Pricing, roughly $1,200 per lawyer per month. 12-month commitment, 20 seed minimum. So around $288,000 annually as a starting point. Wow. Honest take, Harvey is built for the elite international law firms. For a 15-person legal department at a Swiss or German mid-cap, definitely an overkill. The price point feels wrong, and German legal content that isn't there yet. Expanding into Europe and a natively serving German law are different things. Legora is the one solution most European in-house teams should be paying close attention to. Founded in Stockholm in 2023, in March 2026 raised $550 million at a $5.55 billion valuation. April extension brought in Atlassian and Nvidia. Nvidia's first ever legal tech investment at $5.6 billion post-money. ARR crossed 100 million, and Legora's team grew from 40 to 400 people in only 12 months. 3 things that matter. 1. Legora is built on Anthropic's Claude, deployed via Microsoft Azure with regional deployment for data data residency, the architecture you actually want for FADP and GDPR. 2. The Munich office opened in March 2026, and there are already 80 plus stock firms and in-house teams using Legora. And number 3, April acquisition of Cura, a Swedish legal research startup focused on EU law, and they are not done with acquisitions. The counterpoint, they're 3 years old and scaling extraordinarily fast and committed strongly to the US market. This will bring challenges. Growing at that rate will probably cause an acquisition by a US tech giant. Consider the risk, but for a team that values workflow integration and EU data residency over deep historical archives, Legora is the biggest European platform on the table right now. Kira was acquired by Litera in 2021, the reference point for AI contract review at large law firms. Roughly 70 of the top 100 global firms use it. January 2026 brought a next-generation Kira combining proprietary models trained on over 1 million contracts with Gen AI in a hybrid architecture. The differentiator for European buyers is flexible governance controls. You can enable or disable Gen AI at the project level. Honest assessment, it's a contract analysis specialist, not a general platform. Strong fit for M&A diligence at large firms. Less obvious fit for in-house teams. Here comes the open source wildcard Mike. Early May 2026, a former Latham & Watkins lawyer named William Chen released an open source legal AI platform called Mike. Built in 2 weeks, self-hostable, free. He claims feature parity with Harvey and Legora, assistant, vault, bulk review, workflows, drafting, and review. Within 72 hours, over 1,000 GitHub stars, one of the fastest trending legal tech repos ever. Will Mike replace Harvey at Magic Circle firms? Probably not. There's no SLA, no enterprise support, no Word or Outlook integration, no curated case law, and security depends entirely on your own IT team. But here's why every GC should know it exists. As one former legal IT director put it, Mike doesn't kill Harvey or Legora, but it absolutely changes the negotiation. Once a working open source alternative sits on GitHub, the conversation moves from, is this magic, to what exactly am I paying enterprise prices for? That's the right question. The honest answer comes down to 4 things open source doesn't deliver. Legal specific training that accuracy improvements grounded in real customer feedback, compliance you can defend to your DPO with documentation, and a team accountable when something breaks on a Friday afternoon. Practical takeaway, when evaluating a vendor at $250,000 a year, ask them what specifically you're paying for that you couldn't get from Mike on your own infrastructure. Good answer, real product. No answer, you just saved yourself $250,000. Let's look at European specific players. CA Beck took the lead in an 80 million investment in Noxtua in April 2025. What you get? The most comprehensive German legal database in existence. Over 55 million documents paired with legal AI trained on European data hosted entirely in Europe. This is structurally important. Beck Noxtua is not a US tool with European hosting bolted on. It's built European from ground up. Where it's strong, depth of German legal content, probably unmatched. Where to ask hard questions, the integration between Beck's traditional database and Noxtua's AI layer is still maturing. And high volume contract operations aren't the primary design point. Strong for research-led legal work. The German legal tech law lift is focused on document automation. Contracts, pleadings, standardized templates. Partnerships with Datev and Otto Schmidt give it real institutional credibility. I respect that it doesn't try to be everything. It picks one job, reliable, standardized drafting, and it does it really well. Strong for teams that prioritize standardization. Limitation, it's a drafting tool. If your bottleneck is reviewing inbound contracts, that's a different problem. Wolters Kluwer is one of the reference databases for German law. In November 2025, they acquired Libra to add AI-powered research and analysis. Worth watching, the content depth combined with modern AI workflows could become compelling. Execution risk on the integration is real though. I'd want to see the integrated product working in a real legal team before actually committing budget. What we also hear from customers is the accuracy of the AI output, that it's lower compared to other solutions. Worth considering before a company-wide rollout. Now let's have a look at Legartis. We're a Swiss legal tech company. Legal AI workspace, repository, drafting, review, negotiation, bulk review for legal teams that handle real contract volume. Contract review is our center of gravity. It's where we have the deepest training, the longest accuracy track record, and the most demanding customers. And accuracy is the part that matters most for how you should evaluate us or any legal AI vendor. Most legal AI is a black box. You ask a question, it returns a result. That doesn't work in legal. Lawyers need to defend the answer to a partner, a client, a regulator. The AI said so is definitely not a defense. We use leading Gen AI models and wrap them in Legartis controls and checks. The mechanism is what we call user tuning. When you build a playbook, the system generates a test set labeled positive and negative examples from your own contracts, showing you what the AI thinks each requirement means. You inspect it. You correct what's wrong. The system updates and gives you an F1 score per clause, a number between 0 and 1, telling you exactly how reliable the answer is. Every step is audible. Most legal AI asks you to drive the car and trusts the engine. We let you open the hood. Where Legartis fits best is in meaningful contract operations, NDAs, vendor agreements, supplier contracts, procurement flows. You need consistent application of your clause standards, European hosting that holds up to your DPO's scrutiny, and you need to show your work. That's where we win. Where Legartis doesn't fit, cross-border litigation infrastructure, look at Harvey. Research-led practice with deep case law needs, look at Beckenoxtua or LexisNexis. Broad horizontal coverage without clause-level calibration, Legora is the better answer. We're not built for those. We have one more, Datev. Not legal AI in the strict sense, but you can't have an honest conversation without naming it. For small and mid-sized German law firms, Datev is the operational backbone. Any AI tool you deploy will need to coexist with it. Make sure your vendors have a clear answer on that integration before you sign. How does the buying framework look like? There are 5 questions you should think about. Number 1, what's the actual job you're hiring the software to do? We need an AI tool is not a use case. We need to reduce NDA review time by 40% is. Define the job first, evaluate vendors against it. Number 2, where does your data live and who's accountable if it leaks? Ask the vendor, which sub-processors do you use? Where are the foundation models hosted? Can you guarantee EU or Swiss data residency in writing with a financial penalty? If they can't answer those 3 questions in under 2 minutes, that tells you something. Number 3, what does it look like in 18 months when foundation models are twice as capable? What's the moat? Proprietary content, workflow integration, collaborative features, or just a thin wrapper over an API anyone could build? If you can't articulate the moat after the demo, it probably isn't there. Number 4, who's going to use this every day and have they used it? Buy with the user, not for the user. The number 1 predictor of success is whether the lawyers who will use it daily were involved in the evaluation. Free trials, real work, real feedback. Number 5, what's the exit ramp? 24 months from now, this landscape will look different. Before you sign, what does your data export look like? Contract length, renewal terms. Optionality is worth a lot in the market moving that fast. Don't trade away cheaply. 3 actions for you this week. Number 1, map your top 5 legal workflows by volume and pain, not by what you saw in a demo, by how much time your team actually spends on them. If you can't list them by Friday, you don't have a buying problem yet. You have a measurement problem. Number 2, pick one workflow and run a structured pilot with 2 vendors. 2, not 5, not 1. Same use case, same data, same evaluators, 4 to 6 weeks, then decide. Number 3, get your compliance answer in writing before the pilot, not after. Data residency, sub-processors, audit trail, deletion guarantees from the vendor's legal team, not a salesperson on a call. After all this, you don't have a vendor problem. You might have a strategy problem. The vendors are good enough. Most of the ones I named today will deliver value if they fit your use case. The question is whether you have a clear view of what your legal function should look like in 3 years. matters, and whether the tool you're buying gets you there. The legal teams that win in this cycle aren't the ones who bought the most expensive platform. They're actually the ones who picked the right 2 or 3 tools, defined the use cases sharply, and build operational discipline to actually adopt them. If this was useful, subscribe. I'll be doing more of these. You can test the Legartis AI workspace for free. First link in the description. And if you want to see how AI is changing legal more broadly, check out this video next. Until next time.